Hey there, it is Cbus Nathan. I am diving into one of my favorite communities in Central Ohio, Worthington. It is a community that was founded by New England settlers, and you can still see that inspiration in today's architecture throughout the city. So let's dive in. I'm going to take you through my favorite places, my favorite neighborhoods, and things to do in this awesome city. So before we dive into all my favorite things to do around Worthington, let's learn a little bit more about its history and obviously where it's located. So it is about a little over 10 miles north of downtown Columbus. It's still within 270, which is one of the reasons why I love Worthington. A little bit of it pops out above north of 270, but this community was founded back in 1803, and it was founded by the Scioto Company. So they were New England founders or settlers who bought 16,000 acres of land, and they started to develop this New England inspired village. The two founders were James Kilbourne and also Thomas Worthington. So James Kilbourne was the main founder, and then Thomas Worthington, obviously what the city is named after, was a friend of James. So that is kind of how it started. It started to grow over the years as we moved into the 1900s, had some other companies come in, start to build it up, and it has since become one of the premier or top neighborhoods within Central Ohio because of its rich history and architecture. So if I were to move to Worthington, these are a few of the neighborhoods that I personally really love and enjoy. Riverlea, it's just south of Old Worthington. So Old Worthington is where everything was started, where Worthington was, founded. But with this Riverlea area, you're still within walking, biking district or distance to that district. Also, as you kind of move a little bit east, I had to do my northeast, southwest, but a little bit east of High Street, just adjacent to that Riverlea area is Colonial Hills. This is such a cool little neighborhood that has a lot of homes that have a lot of unique architecture. It's not going to be your cookie cutter homes by any means. You'll see a lot of Cape Cods and Colonials. Obviously, Colonial Hills makes sense. But it's also carved out by a ravine and just such pretty landscape. So there are homes of all different price ranges within this area. Another area that I really, really love, it's just north of Old Worthington, is Worthing Way. It is north of Thomas Worthington High School. It is a great little community. It was built back in the 60s, 70s, I believe, but it's just a very mature neighborhood, lots of mature trees around. You have a good variety of different homes. It just very much gives you a quaint, tight-knit community within a larger city of Columbus and having access to everything around Columbus. Right along the 315 corridor, which kind of butts up next to Worthington, there is the Olentangy Trail. So a lot of these neighborhoods that I've talked about have access to that Olentangy Trail, which that Olentangy Trail, it connects you throughout all of Central Ohio, which is just a great resource to have at your fingertips if you were to move and live within the Worthington area. And I forgot to mention probably one of the most notable neighborhoods to me, especially within the Worthington area, which is Rush Creek Village. So this area of Worthington was built in the 1950s. It has very much that mid-century modern feel. A lot of the homes in that area were inspired by Frank Lloyd Wright, if you're familiar with that architecture. It is such a cool area. You almost don't feel like you're in Columbus or Worthington anymore in this area. So that is definitely a spot I would check out if you're looking to move. So I obviously mentioned the Olentangy Trail being such a great resource that people who live within Worthington have access to. A few parks that I love around the area that I go and visit often are Antrim Park. There's a big lake in the middle of it. You can walk around the lake, do a couple loops. That is connected to the Olentangy Trail, so you can easily access that if you were to move to Worthington. Another great metro park, one of probably the best, if I had to say, within Central Ohio is the access that you have to Highbanks Metro Park. So that is just north of Old Worthington, downtown Worthington, if you will. But it is such a great, well-designed metro park. It's so big, and there's just a lot of really great trails that you can hike and get a good workout in. So I've mentioned Old Worthington a couple times already, and honestly, this is probably one of the biggest selling features of the community. So it is located, High Street cuts it right in the middle, but just south of High Street and 161, you have a ton of entertainment, food, cafes, everything at your fingertips right there. I mean, some of my favorite are the Whitney House. They have just such great food, cocktails, if that is your fancy. They also just have such a cool atmosphere and vibe. So it's a great date night if you're looking for a place for a date night. Another great place that I love over there, a couple different cafes. We have Joya's. They have vegan, vegetarian options. So many great dishes. You definitely have to check them out. There's also Kitty's Cafe, which is over there. They have some really great lattes. I feel like they have different flavors all the time. I've been doing the lavender one a lot. So yummy. And there's a gift shop that's actually attached to that as well that has a lot of fun, gift ideas if you're visiting, or just local made crafts and arts within that area too. So definitely a great gift shop to check out within Kitty's. Some other places I love are Le Chatelaine, which is like a French bakery bistro. Such a good spot to meet for lunch, sit out on their patio, have a coffee. And then there is Peace, Love, and Little Donuts if you want a sweet treat. We got Dewey's Pizza. I mean, the list just keeps going on and on. So there is a ton of great restaurants and food options at your fingertips right there. Definitely want to check out Old Worthington for their food. And also, there are some great shops. So one of my favorite shops to go to is Vernacular. So there's a couple Vernacular shops around Central Ohio, but the one in Worthington is just curated so well, laid out great. You gotta sniff all of their candles. I love a candle, but there's like a coconut waters one that I have burning in my office whenever I just need to, zen out and pretend I'm at the beach. So definitely check out Vernacular. Tons of great gifts for birthdays, events, what have you. A couple other notable spots within this Old Worthington area is So to Speak. It's great if you are into sewing, if you are, making your own garments or blankets or what have you. They have really high quality materials. I know that I've had several friends who have gone there and they just love the shop. And also the McConnell Art Center. They have a ton of various art classes. Obviously, with my art background, I am always a huge supporter of the arts, so you need to check out the McConnell Art Center. So if you are moving to Worthington and want to know where you need to do your grocery shopping and get your produce, well, the Worthington Farmers Market is one of the best in the city. So definitely check that out on Saturdays. But also they have the Hills Market that is right at your fingertips. I mean, you have local grocery stores like Giant Eagle and Kroger very nearby too. And you also have a Whole Foods not too far from the downtown Old Worthington area, but it's also very close to the west side of Worthington, which I am going to talk about a little bit right here. So there are some areas of Worthington that I would just be cautious of moving to, mainly because of traffic or noise. So one of those areas is the Linworth area of Worthington. That 161, I mean, I might need to talk to city council or somebody to get a 4-lane road right there. I'm sure it's probably next to impossible. I don't know who's out there who can make this happen, but it can get very bottlenecked during rush hour. So that would be one thing that I would be cautious of, especially if you are trying to go over to Sawmill, where Sawmill Road has a ton of convenience stores like your Targets, they have that Whole Foods, they got all different types of shops and everything over there. So just know that traveling along 161, especially during rush hour, can be a little bit stress inducing, let's put it mildly. And also right in that area too is the Don Scott Airport. It's the OSU's flight school. Everything is located right there. But with that, there's a lot of private jets that fly in and out of there too. So if you're within that flight pattern, that would just be something that I would be cautious of as well. I'm within the flight pattern of where I live in my current home, and I don't live in Worthington, not yet. I'm trying to get Justin to move there. But you know, it doesn't bother me. I like it, but some people might not like that. So that would be one thing that I would definitely be cautious of looking, you know, if you're looking west of 315 in that Worthington area. If you're curious about schools, there are 2 high schools that are within the Worthington School District. So I'll let you take a guess, if you're not familiar with Worthington, what you think they would be named after. There are Thomas Worthington High School, obviously, and then Worthington Kilbourne. Shocker, right? But they are great schools. If you want to learn more about those school districts, obviously I always point my buyers to niche.com, niche.com. That's a great resource for you to do a little bit more research on the school districts. Obviously myself as a realtor, I can't comment on school districts, but you can do your research for yourself. If you are, you know, more school district focused and centric, definitely check out that resource to learn about those schools. And lastly, one of my top reasons why I love the Worthington area is just its proximity to everything in Central Ohio. So you have the ability to easily get on the highway at various points, so quick access throughout the city. There's so much to do in the northern part of the city, so Worthington is basically center to everything that you have access to up there, but also you can easily get downtown. So it's just a great spot if you're looking to not spend a lot of time commuting. I would definitely think about Worthington for your next purchase. And if you have any questions about what you saw in this video, or you want to know more about the neighborhood itself, as always, feel free to reach out to me. You can click that link in the bio. We can set up a one-on-one consult to talk about various neighborhoods. If you're looking to buy or sell, I can walk through that process with you as well. So as always, I am Cbus Nathan. I am your local Central Ohio realtor. I'm so glad that you got to spend a little bit of time allowing me to talk to you about one of my favorite communities in Central Ohio. I would love if you commented below what your favorite spots are. Maybe I can do a highlight on them in the future. But I put out videos every Friday, so make sure that you like and subscribe and follow along. And until next Friday, I hope you have a great one.